In the village of Ettrick sits a two-story house whose address in the early 1900s was 18 Main Street.
My father was the youngest of seven.
The oldest was William Leslie Waller, born in 1906.
He was the patriarch of the family because my grandfather had passed away before World War II.
When war broke out after the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor on December 7, 1941, William Waller was in the U.S. Army.
Him and two of my other uncles went to the war.
And when the war ended in 1945, they all came home and life went on.
That generation did not talk about their service. Not the bad parts especially.
When Rudy came along,
He said, I'm the youngest of the youngest.
he learned the family name for William.
Uncle brother.
And Uncle Brother had some unique qualities.
Tall, formidable. He was almost 6'2". Like I said, very kind of commanded a presence, I guess you could say.
And at the dinner table,
When I was a kid, if you put your elbows on the table, he'd reach over with a butter knife and pop you in the elbow with the end of the butter knife.
in 1976, though, Uncle Brother would pass away, buried in the Waller family plot at Blandford Cemetery. Rudy was just 10 years old.
I just remember there was a lot of people there.
In 1999, the Waller family home was sold.
My name is Wayne Coleman.
The same year William Waller died,
I actually joined the Army in 1976.
Coleman spent 22 years in the U.S. Army and by 1999 had a second career.
I am a real estate investor.
And he's the one who bought this house from the Waller family and began the renovation. And just after ripping up some flooring,
And then this mantle I ripped off the wall, something fell.
26 years ago, Coleman picked this envelope up off the floor of the old Waller home, and written on the envelope,
At the time, PFC, William L. Waller, and he was in the South Pacific, and he wrote to Mrs. O.M. Waller, 18 Main Street, Ettrick.
inside a handwritten letter from William to his mother.
The date on this letter, he was writing home on a Sunday morning, September the 12th, 1943.
In the middle of a war in the Pacific, the man the family called Uncle Brother wrote home to say,
I've been writing quite a few days, but I've been busy and also haven't had anything to talk about.
Coleman held on to the letter in safekeeping until reaching out to me a few weeks ago to try and find a relative. And Rudy would learn of the letter during this Zoom call.
That's a great surprise. That's really something special.
Among the nephew's few possessions of his Uncle Brother, a pocket watch, the U.S. flag from William's funeral, and this, a captured Japanese flag.
Everyone in that platoon signed this.
Now 82 years after Mrs. Waller received the letter at her home in Ettrick, and 26 since it was found by Coleman, this letter is now heading to Georgia to Rudy Waller and his family.
I really appreciate that surprise, and thank you so much for keeping it, and it's so safe and everything. I do appreciate it.
Rudy tells me the letter to his grandmother from his Uncle Brother will be a welcome addition to the family archives. He also says his 4 daughters, who appreciate the family's heritage, will also welcome this to the collection. That's a look inside Wayne's World. I'm Wayne Koval, CBS 6 News.